Well, hey guys, this is kind of a treat. We're coming at you live from the office, and instead of where we have it set up in the studio. And it's kind of fun to be here because I've got access to all of my stuff. And people jokingly say, well, what's up here? It's the motorcycle. Well, that's because that's how I decompress. And I have worked some time at UPS, and you can see my skull artifact in the back. But we're going to talk about patient success stories tonight. And one of the requests that I had at the office, if you've ever been to the West Clinic office, when you walk in, you check in with our team, and then you see a screen of patient testimonials. And one of the things that we've been doing for years now is when people have an amazing outcome is that they will basically, they love to tell your story, and you're going to see a couple really neat stories tonight. And one of the reasons why we like to share the stories is because so many times people come in the office and they'll say, what is wrong with me? And can you fix it? And then they always say, well, have you done it on anybody else? And guess what? That's so common to see, to ask people is, well, what's happening? Do you have the resources to pull it off? And no one wants to be a guinea pig. So I get to share with you some stories tonight. And here's one of the fun things is that when we do that, the patient requests said to me is, what did you do for these people? Like, you hear these stories of beating peripheral neuropathy and seeing better and beating, successfully beating these severe autoimmune diseases and doing cancer support therapy. And they're like, well, what did you do? Well, the answer is that we're trying to balance the body, put everything into harmony. And sometimes I feel like a broken record of getting your body on a schedule and healthy and alive foods. But one of the reasons I decided to do it in the office is because now I have some resources, my Bible, Curing the Incurable, and I've got my book here. I've got anything that I can look up over here. And it's really fun to walk through and show people, look, it's possible to beat your disease. There's a person in there. Like and I want people to recognize, like, don't become your label. Like, be you. Let's get on your pathway. And so I wanted to share with you a couple stories about that and then walk you through what we did. Now, one of the ones we get most commonly asked about is our infertility treatments. And the infertility treatments are, you balance the body with biochemistry. You do a hormone test and you treat the insufficient hormones, and then you can do some resets. And I'm looking for the resets, but I showed this story last night and we got so many comments about it inside of our private group that I wanted to show it again and then talk about it and walk you through the rationale. Now, there's a lot of people that are watching this that don't have infertility conditions, but it doesn't matter if it's a stomach problem or a heart problem or a lung problem. Like, it's all the same, meaning the same, balancing the body, resetting the nerves, insulating the nerves, helping the stomach, absorbing things, breaking the foods down, making sure that your sewer system works right, that you're able to urinate, and also that your bowels are working right. It's not normal to have chronic diarrhea. It's not normal to have chronic constipation. And so here's some of those success stories. I'm going to walk you through exactly what we did with Corey, but it's fun to show her story. So here we go. I want to show you guys what, here's Tori. Check it out. Hello everyone, Dr. Jason West and the West Clinic team. And one of the best things I've learned in healthcare is something called neural therapy. It's a way to reboot the nerves, and it works on so many conditions: autoimmune, hormones, pain, arthritis, and in this case, it's infertility. 3 treatments and 3 children. And if you have chronic disease, you should know about this therapy. So meet Corey, and here's her story. And so, Corey, we talked a little bit about this. I haven't seen you for a couple of years, so it was nice to reconnect. Yeah. That always means that I'm doing a good job when I don't see patients for a long time. But we were kind of going through the timeline, and you said, hey, I first came in about 2010. And what brought you in?
Well, I had 3 ectopic pregnancies before that, and one of them resulted in a tube being removed. So I only had 1 tube. And we were starting the path of fertility treatments, just barely getting into it when my mom suggested I come and visit with you.
And so you came in and we decided, hey, let's get rid of bad nerve memory, which is a treatment that we do called neural therapy. And then it was just fun to hear what you said happened, because what happened?
Well, I went home, and a couple weeks later took a pregnancy test, and well, more than a couple weeks, but the next month I was pregnant, and it was a viable pregnancy. It went full term, and got a beautiful daughter out of it.
Okay, and she's 8 now.
She's
right?
8, yes.
And then something else happened. You came back a couple years later.
Yeah, maybe a little bit of superstition, from going through the process the first time, but knowing that it worked, we wanted to have another successful pregnancy, and so we came right back and got a second shot. Within a couple weeks after that, got another positive pregnancy test and a son.
So we have a little girl, a little boy, and then, because it can't be possible, but is it possible? What happens the third time?
Third time, another wonderful pregnancy and another wonderful son. So I can't thank Dr. J enough. And if I could go to Vegas with this type of luck, I would go all the time. But it's not luck.
Yeah.
It's hard work and dedication and knowledge, and I just appreciate all that you have done for me and my family.
So many times what happens for women is they get a bad memory inside the pelvis, and the body accepts that to be, quote, normal. And so just like if we called up tech support and we said, hey, we reboot the system, turn everything off, turn it back on. That's what we did for Corey. It's just a nerve reboot therapy, and these are the outcomes that we expect. I mean, we really have good outcomes with hormone imbalances and infertility issues. So Corey, thanks so much for allowing me to share this story of hope with other people. It's okay to put on social media.
You bet.
On an amazing infertility condition, and we'll see you guys on the next video. Now, you guys, it's not just infertility issues. And when the people are saying, Dr. West, please tell me, what are the treatments that you're doing? So I love this book right here. It's called The Manual of Neural Therapy, and it's how to reset nerve impulses. And it's not just infertility, it's chronic pain patterns, it's scar tissue, it's Hashimoto's, it's Lyme disease, it's peripheral neuropathy. And so that's what we did for Corey. We put together her, nutritional system. We balanced out everything. Then what we did is we gave her the hormone precursors. We've talked about this before, doing natural hormone precursor therapy, NHP therapy. And then what we did is we reset the system. Now, that's how we help those conditions. But I just want to share with you one that's pretty recent. This is Jordan. And Jordan's story is awesome because he just was itching like crazy. It's the same process. So many skin problems, you guys, are from necessarily thyroid disease, but the thyroid, there's so much blood and stuff that goes through the thyroid that it is frequently becomes congested, and then you have skin issues. And most people don't think, oh my gosh, my thyroid's off, I have skin issues. They think my thyroid's off and my metabolism's off, my nails aren't working, my hair's growing, I have a too much activity going on in the heart. But I want to show you Jordan's story, and this is a special case, Jordan and everybody, and then I'll tell you exactly what we did for him after. So check this out.
Hi everyone, we have Jordan here. He just finished a 10 treatment plan. We did his re-evaluation today. So we thought we would ask him to give us his thoughts on how everything went through his treatments. So Jordan, take it away.
So I think in November of last year, just started to get just a small itch around my waistline. It progressively got worse, and I noticed that it was starting to move. It moved to just my rib cage on my sides, my shoulder blades on my back, and then I got little random spots all over my body. I went to 3 different dermatologists, and I think I got quite a few different steroid creams, topical stuff, and quite a few pills that I took, and absolutely nothing relieved the itching. I started taking just scalding hot showers for half an hour of relief. I have my wife's dad mentioned that he used to see Dr. West, or his son did, when he was younger. And I was at the point to where I would do anything. I'd pay any amount of money just to get rid of itching. So I said, I'll try it. I came up to Dr. West, and I called, actually the same day I called, they got me in. Just super accommodating. I came in, it was completely different than any other doctor I had seen. We did blood samples, we looked at the blood together, we talked about a plan. Everything sounded amazing. So I started my IVs, I could tell right off the bat, the first one, I had relief all over my body. So I went home, told my wife, I was like, this is great. We're going to do it. I committed to 10 treatments. I'm so glad I did, because I was debating whether or not doing just lesser or just not as much, but it was just the right amount to get me to where I'm at. Virtually, I have almost no itch anymore. All the redness has gone away. The bumps have gone away. My skin feels great. The IVs did good things for my energy. I feel better, not as tired, just all around. I'm working better, feeling better, better mood. So I'm just super thankful. I can't say enough. I'm glad I did it.
Good. We're so glad you did, and we're so glad you're better. And we look forward to working with you forever.
So you guys, what we did for Ryan is to detoxify the thyroid by using a Japanese herb called yakatron. And it's a natural antihistamine, and it literally cleans the thyroid. The thyroid's so important as a secondary gland of detoxification. So that was kind of fun to see, what's happening with Ryan. And then also what occurs is there is a way to basically get your body to wake up from getting used to being normal. So like one of the things that happens is if you walk inside your house and your spouse or your mom's making your favorite meal, you walk in, you're like, oh my gosh, this smells so good. And then 3-4 minutes later, what happens is your body gets used to that smell, right? And so your nervous system is like, we accepted the stimuli, and then it's just normal. And then what can happen in disease processes, it does the same thing. So many people that get sick, like they're used to being up, like they're living here, and then they get sick, and they stay sick for a while. All of a sudden, their nervous system is like, okay, that's normal. And then on some people, they get even sicker, and it's down here. And you know what? Your mind knows that you should live up here. And so it's amazing conflict process. And that's why it's so important to use this therapy so that you can break up those addiction patterns and you can help people. So we used the yakatron. And one of the ways you can do it, there's a special type of self-blood therapy called autohemotherapy, where you can get your body to like reset and recognize what's in the blood as bad and go through this self-cleansing mechanism. And by the way, it's not just for itching. It's not just for infertility. Like, I want to show you one favorite story and favorite. Now, Mark came into the office, and this has been at least 5 years ago. And Mark is an unbelievable pianist. And I like to play the piano. I'm really rusty, but I like to do that. And so Mark came in. He's a Steinway artist. He's a professor of music at a university, and he had horrible arthritis right here in his hands. I mean, it was just devastating. And they said, look, well, you should stop playing. And Mark's like, I can't, like, this is my life. And then they said, well, maybe we should shave off part of your Achilles tendon and then curl it up and put it into your thumb joint right here. And I forgot the name of that special procedure. And he said, I just don't know if that really resonates with me. I don't want to do that. And so we started doing some regenerative injection therapy, and it's called prolozone therapy. And what that is it's a non-surgical, like this is just a non-surgical orthopedic procedure where what you do is you take oxidative medicine and vitamin C and B12 and these amazing prescription vitamins like folic acid, magnesium, potassium, and you put it right where it hurts. And it's called regenerative injection therapy. And what happens is Mark, and by the way, he did a ton of stuff on his side, taking the right things, cleaning up his diet. He really changed the way that he was eating. And then you guys, here's what's happened. This is one of my favorite stories, but I also tell you that it almost caused a divorce. It'll make you laugh when I tell you the story, but you got to see what happened with Mark first. Check it out. Okay, you guys, here's what I just realized. That was him at the concert. And then I forgot to bring in the part where he talks about what happened. And so we are able to take this horrible arthritis condition and be able to help him to restore the bone-on-bone arthritis for him. And he gives this great story. And I just have him playing the piano. I'm recognizing it's just the raw video. But we have him inside of the office saying, look, when he started giving me these regenerative injections shots, we started reprogramming the nerves. All of a sudden, he has this wonderful, ability that he's trained his whole life to come back and to do. And so one of the recommendations for chronic joint pain is it starts inside of your house. So number one, you got to get water into your system. It's so important and so underrated for bone-on-bone arthritis. Drink more water. That's number one. Number two, let's put in some shock absorbers, which is some acetylmyristoyl, which is also some glucosamine, and then help with the inflammation, turmeric, arnica, curcumin, sometimes black pepper. It really, really helps people to beat bone-on-bone arthritis. It's not always a joint replacement. You can help that. We have x-rays of people that are coming and they have their knee, their tibia here and their femur here, and they're jammed on it like this. And every time they move, what happens is that sensitive membranes, they scrape each other and it hurts. And then they get swelling. And then the joint starts to expand and buckle and all these things happen. But you know what? If you help to put building blocks in the system, you've seen on x-ray, you can get some space in there. It never goes back to normal. But so many times people are able to not have to have joint replacement surgery. Now, when we talk about putting your body in balance and everything, one of the Bibles in the office, and I love this therapy, is called Curing the Incurable. And it's written by a friend of mine, Dr. Levy. He's a medical doctor and an attorney. And what Dr. Levy did inside of this system was he was able to infuse, go through all of his research and find that vitamin C donates electrons to the body. And so many times when people are sick, what happens is they lose energy. And I don't know if you've been around someone that's chronically not, their energy's low. And most of the time it's because they're in pain and they're hurting, and pain sucks energy out of the body. And so I read this book and it changed my life. And I started giving these treatments to patients. And one of them is here. Her name's Connie. And Connie came into the office and she was so sick. Her diagnosis was an unknown virus. So this was before all the problems that started over in China and have caused all of these difficulties and changes in our life structure, and unfortunately has killed people. And that's the pandemic. But this was before that. And Connie came in and said, hey, I've got an unknown virus and I'm going to die. And so we did the vitamin C treatments, and this is what happened. Check it out. Hey guys, this is Dr. J. Welcome to our blog, A Daily Dose of Vitamin H. Just really excited to share an amazing outcome. I asked Connie if she'd come in and be on the testimonial, because when we first saw her a couple weeks ago, my thought process was, please don't die in the office because you're that sick. I mean, she just was really, really not sick. And Connie, what did they tell you that you had?
They told me, one hospital said West Nile, one said fever of an unknown cause.
Okay, but we knew you were really sick. And
I was sick enough that they kicked me out of the hospital. They couldn't fix it. They said, don't come back here.
Okay, so she came to the office, and we started treating her for a chronic viral infection. We saw some things that, and whether it was the West Nile virus or Epstein-Barr or cytomegalovirus, we treat those pretty much the same, which is to make the body healthy. So what treatments did we do?
What? I have no idea.
Okay, so
infusion of vitamin C, I think.
Yes, we at the first minerals. She was so sick that we hooked her up to the vitamin C infusions and really give really high doses of vitamin C. We've gone through a series of treatments. Today is number 11, right? And how are you feeling?
I am feeling 90% or maybe even 100% better. When I came in, I was taking ibuprofen and some other thing. And after that first infusion, I never took another thing.
So it was a remarkable turnaround to take someone literally with one foot in the grave to really 100% better in a series of treatments. Would you recommend anybody else do the treatment?
Oh, I think it was wonderful. When I came in, I laid my head here. Yep. I didn't even know what you looked like.
So I have got a lot of information from Connie's daughter, We had a little bit of interaction, but again, right after the first infusion, we saw a huge turnaround.
Yeah.
And so now we're actually getting ready to put Connie on our health and wellness program to make sure that we never slide back, but we're pretty much done with the treatments. Is it okay to put on social media?
Absolutely.
All right, you guys, this is Dr. J and Connie with the daily dose of vitamin H. Okay, so you guys, what we do with chronic infections, whether it's Epstein-Barr or whether it is E. coli or staph or MRSA, or I mean, the list goes on, is you got to get energy back into the system. You got to charge people up. You got to make them feel better. One of the best ways to do that in infusion therapy. You also can do it with medical nutritional therapy. So whether you're across the street or across the country, like if you can help people to get that stuff into their system, the stuff is vitamin C. So oral lipovitamin C therapy, IV vitamin C therapy, reset the nerves, eat as healthy and alive as possible. And I think one of my favorite sayings is to tell people, like, you got to have food close to the ground. And what that means is the closer that you can have it as it comes out of its natural environment. You eat potatoes as healthy as possible. You eat strawberries as healthy as possible. Things like Twinkies and cookies and soda pop, like it's not close to the ground. So don't eat that. Now, it's not only does it work with infections, it also works with autoimmune. So I want to introduce you to Debbie. And so I want to share this story with you. Check this out. Hey everyone, this is Dr. West with Debbie. We're so excited at the West Clinic. Debbie's nervous, but I've told her I'd coach her through this whole process. But it's reevaluation day, and as we were doing our workup, she's like, hey, the things that were bothering me are significantly improved. It's not 100%. It's so much better. And I was just really excited. I said, hey, Debbie, would you consider sharing a message of hope for other people? And she said, hey, why not? So that being said, I love to start videos off with, Debbie, where are you from?
I live in Sun Valley, Idaho.
So Sun Valley, Idaho, which is a couple hours away from us. Mm-hmm. And the first thing I ask people, because people say, I don't know if I should travel, not travel. Was it worth it to come over?
It was totally worth it. Yeah.
So basically a 3-hour drive. Debbie, tell people what, I don't want to get too personal, but what were some of the concerns that you had coming in? And you can be really general, you can be specific, that's up to you, but what got you here?
I was having a lot of pain in my hand and didn't know really why, and had been doing physical therapy for months with nothing getting better. And actually one treatment to my hand in the West Clinic made it feel totally better. So that was so worth it. And then my stamina and my sleep were my other issues, and those are really improving.
So more energy, totally got rid of the hand pain, but also tell everybody what's up here.
My thyroid?
Yeah.
My thyroid, he's helping me with my thyroid too,
So in the treatments that we did for Debbie, just kind of walk everybody through what we did over in that room and the other stuff. So super simple was what?
Well, I mean, I got my IV therapy.
So the vitamin infusion therapy, vitamin C, magnesium, all natural B vitamins, and then what else did we do?
Hydrogen peroxide, cleaning out my blood, right?
So for sure. So dilute hydrogen peroxide, it's a 1 to 100 dilution, helps to get extra oxygen in the body. And when we did our re-eval today, I was really excited to see we didn't have those markers. The bad guys, they were gone. And so what's neat about Debbie's story is just what we were trying to do was to make it so she really doesn't need us anymore. So we're going to do a little bit of check-in, but we're sending her back to the beautiful Sun Valley. So much better. We're just going to help monitor her from a distance. And I'm like, it's such a great story. Hand pain, fatigue's better, sleeping's better. The autoimmune thing, which I don't really believe in, I think there's something in infection in the thyroid, is we're cleaning the blood. That's why the thyroid's getting better. Debbie, is it okay if I share this message with other people?
Sure.
I put it up there. So Dr. West and Debbie, she's West Clinic family now. She's got a shirt that says, I'm the hero of my own story. You're not your diagnosis. We'll see you guys on the next video. Okay, you guys. So the thing that we did with Debbie is just balance out our system, balance out our body, which means we are going to do regenerative injection therapy on her hands. We're going to infuse her with electrons. We are going to do neural therapy to reset the thyroid. And so now what happens is we just get to keep after it and do the same thing. So I just want to invite everybody next Wednesday night. We are doing a special program on blood reports and anemia. And that's how you can take things to help your blood. Like there's some natural blood builder therapies that are so amazing for energy. And for any men or women out there who has some concerns with male health, like it's not working the way that it's supposed to, it's because the man has sick blood. And until you fix the sick blood, like you're always going to have that problem. Also, it's the number one cause of fatigue and exhaustion is anemia. And here's why you would want to pay attention to the program next Wednesday night at 6 o'clock is this. Because if you are taking the wrong kind of iron, you're poisoning your body. It's so important to have the right kind of iron. And so many times people think iron is iron and they take it and their stomachs it gets horrible. They get constipation and they feel like I had one patient say, I swear, doc, I am pooping rusty razor blades because I'm taking this ferrous fumarate. And it's just so hard. There's a natural way to make your blood healthy, to get your energy levels back. And please, 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 if you're listening to this program, or if you know someone that's taking iron and they don't know why, get them to stop. Like iron's so important. If it's low, you got to get a little bit to make it high. To make it normal. If it's high, it can poison your system. So don't do that. Don't poison your system. So that being said, everyone, that is our program tonight. I just wanted to share some patient success stories. Wednesday night, we're talking about how to have healthy blood and what to do about anemia. And also on the flip side, like what happens if you have too many red blood cells, because that's a condition too. We want to talk about how to do that. But remember this, you're not your diagnosis. There's a person in there. Don't become your disease. Become a person, put your life in order, seek those treatments that are healthy and beneficial and that really resonate with you. Patients know their bodies better than doctors. And that's one of the reasons why we wanted to do the program is to empower people to live the best life you can. We want everybody to live up here, not just kind of get by, and definitely don't live here. So everyone, that is our program for tonight for Dr. Jason West and the West Clinic team coming at you from the booming megatropolis of Pocatello, Idaho. 106 years inside of the trends, helping people to overcome and beat their disease. We will see you on our Patient Success Story channel next Thursday at 5 o'clock. I'm out. See you later. And we'll see you Wednesday for the blood report. Next Thursday, Patient Success Story. See you later.